I don't know, like I've always struggled with identity, like I can't tell one thing that, oh, I'm a Maharashtrian, or I'm a Gujarati, or I'm a Bangalore guy, or whatever, like I've always struggled with identity mainly because I'm a Rajasthan person, but I'm not a Marwadi. My culture is a mix of Gujarati and Rajasthan, but we stay in Rajasthan.
What are you eating, bro?
It's a staple breakfast in my place. Poha. People from Indore, MP, it's a staple food. Breakfast, it's like how dosa is for South Indians. Poha is for at least people from MP. Madhya Pradesh. I happen to be a little bit from there. As I mentioned, identity crisis. I'm from a lot of places. So there's a little bit of MP influence in our home. In the lunch we're having proper Rajasthani. See? Told you? When you grow up like this, what do you do? Bound to have identity crisis. Just save another life-saving snack. That's really important for MP people. I mean, we put save in everything. If there's nothing, we eat roti and save.
The only reason Haldiram is surviving?
Really, it's because of MP. I'm sure MP's consumption of save from Haldiram. No, actually, Haldiram is for the rest of the country. We have our own, like, there are places in MP where there is, there are these small shops where they actually make this in-house. Like in a kadhai, and this is made of besan or something, as much as I know. So they have like full on. वहाँ पे तो original taste people get to know. अरे this is some from shop or like actual save. So it gets crazy. I have a lot of friends here.
This was actually just a day or two before, or at least a week before my brother was going to be born. Mom's pregnant here. Last time when we were a 3 people happy family, we were the 4th one came. But yeah, it's the Golden Gate Bridge, San Francisco.
Zoom shot.
Wow. So, does this cement your identity?
Yeah, this is the closest I have something I relate with. These are Bangalore's official coordinates. I got them tattooed last November. The reason for that was I always wanted a tattoo. Never could sort of finalize on what I could get that I would not regret. And I was like, oh man, Bangalore's been such a close part of me. So I think I won't regret this. And then got this tattoo. It's been, it's a part of me. Bangalore's huge. Yeah, Bangalore's the most closest thing I relate to as identity. I'm from Bangalore. Draw what inference you want from it.
I didn't really identify myself with a lot of things. I didn't feel like I belonged in a particular place completely 100%. I don't know if everyone else does as well, but for me, I didn't. I think he sums up very complex sort of thoughts and emotions in like 280 characters of a tweet. So I think that's not easy to do. And I think a lot of them are very relatable, and when he puts it in such a simple way, which is very easy to be like, oh yeah, this is something that I feel too. I just didn't know how to put into words, and he puts them in such a nice way. I don't think it's just me. I've seen a lot of celebrities also be a big fan of it. Like I know Anushka Sharma constantly puts up his posts on her stories. So yeah, I guess a lot of people find value in his posts. Too many people spend their lives being dutiful descendants instead of good ancestors. The responsibility of each generation is not to please their predecessors, it's to improve things for their offsprings. It's more important to make your children proud than your parents proud. And I totally believe in every word that this tweet has, because as you see, it says my philosophy, my life philosophy summed up. This is exactly how I've lived life, at least until now, and I think I will. I think that's something I've always felt, that our responsibility to the people to come is a lot more than the people who've been there. I think we should be grateful for the people who've been there and the work that they've done and the contribution that they've made, which has allowed us to live the life that we do. I believe in all of that. But I think our responsibility and more of our actions need to be geared towards making the lives of those to come after us much better than ours was.
We've shown you the people's 4-door electric car.
Look.
To Opla.
Look how skinny I was. This is not too long ago. The hustle.
In our last video. So if you haven't watched it yet, please do watch it. Today instead, we have the latest offering from Mahindra Electric. Unlike the previous offerings from Mahindra Electric, what we have today has not been built from the ground up. Instead, what Mahindra has done is that they've taken an already successful mass market car and converted it into an electric. So in true EQ style, we're not going to be boring you with facts about the car. Instead, we're going to be going around the city in search of some valuable juice. So let's get started then.
Okay, the 72-volt motor, what is the cost?
Akshay, we're done with VIT. This is a different shoot. We're going to be sitting in the car and learning. Okay? Let's go.
This is the one you made, this, right?
Yeah.
Did so much in those 5 years. Like, started out with small experiments, going on roads and sort of getting people's, just surveying, delivery boys and different young startups and understanding, what's going on here. Maybe I can sell something to them and all of that. So I was trying to find a fit for the clean technology that was being built. That was a start. Then, I moved into doing a lot of content where I thought talking about what's happening is important, so people get exposed to it and maybe even choose to do something in this space. So I think electric vehicles felt for the first time a place where I could belong, and not just belong in some sort of naive way, own, like really dominate and all of that. It started out like that. It started out as an exciting space, different space than what most people who were excited about startups were doing. Most people at the time were building another app or were in the e-commerce space. I think those were the only two things possible at the time. I think it was all fun, yeah. We used to do it because no one ever asked us to do it. It's not like if we didn't do it, there would be consequences or anything. So we did it because we wanted to. So I think just the sheer amount of, at least for me, at least I used to put a lot of importance into the making of those videos. It is important to make this video. Like now when I look back, I'm like, oh, it was very cute to find someone be so engrossed into making those videos and all that. I think the way I learn and the way I've learned is by talking to people. I read books, I read articles, I do all of that. But I think the best way I've learned is sitting with someone for an hour and having a great conversation. I think it's true for everyone. I think it's true for me too. I learned so much more in that one conversation, because when you're in that one-to-one conversation, every question you ask is, the answer to it is contextual to the way you ask that question. So you learn a lot more quickly, you will relate to it a lot more quickly. And I've only learned through conversations, you know. I've only learned through sitting with people one-on-one, or maybe just being a part of a conversation as a silent spectator, you know. Being in rooms where most people would not have access to, but you have. So I've learned it that way, and I feel a lot of people can learn it that way. So I feel for me, now that I decide to come back, it's going to be to propagate different kinds of conversations at as big a scale as possible, so people sort of tune into it, understand it. I'm not so comfortable just speaking to the camera and giving advice. I don't think I enjoy doing that. It's too boring, you know. Like, and who am I? I'm just a 23-year-old guy who wants to listen to me. I don't know. I'm gonna focus on sort of, you know, bringing more good quality content in regional languages, not just stick to English, because I think there's a lot of value there, and I think we're seeing this in a lot of other mediums as well, including movies. You know, movies like KGF 2 and Pushpa, and look at these movies doing massive numbers in Hindi. These are dubbed movies. So I think we're entering like a very multilingual era right now, at least in India. So it's gonna be fun. So yeah, that's the plan. When I come back, we'll go more regional than more fancy. So let's see how that works. So conversation for me is the start to bringing about some change. Like, if it's not even being talked about, like we say this for a lot of issues, right? Say gender inclusivity, you know, like LGBTQ was not a big conversation, say 20 years back. Today it is. And I think it's happened over the years through small conversations at bigger stages at home or whatever, you know. So I think conversation is a start. I won't say it's the end to meet or to actually bring about change. It's the start, but it's a necessary start. So I believe that much in it. It's important to start with those conversations and then follow it up with good actions and actually building something and all of that. So that's how I look at it. Finding a mentor, I think there are plenty of people who like to mentor. I think as human beings, or as you get older, you have this need to mentor or need to share the stuff that you have. I think most of us have it. But as someone who's just young right now, I think what you need to signal to all these potential mentors is that you're a sponge ready to soak in all that they have to offer, and not a brick that sort of doesn't, you know, understand anything or is not open to feedback or learning or any of that. So once people understand that you're someone who is like a sponge and can soak in anything that they offer, they'll be more ready to give. So I think for someone who's seeking, that's the best way to get a mentor. Signal that you're a good sponge first. Is to sort of, you know, now that how I view life is like a relay race, you know, and you know, just like in a relay race, you know, one runner runs and then gives the baton to the other one, and I feel, you know, now as we're sort of grown up, making our headway in the world, and eventually we'll make more headway. I think the baton is in our hands now. So while it's in our hand, it's important to cover as big of a distance as possible, so you can give your next generation as big of a lead as possible to a better life.